Hi everyone, welcome. I know a lot of you guys came on, so thank you all so much for coming. I really appreciate it. I love you guys. I know that a lot of you guys have recently been able to hop on, so thank you all of you guys. I really appreciate it. I like to stand at the countdown, so I'm a little fanatic for that. But thank you all. Sorry for the wait. Turns out my parents don't make dinner anymore, at least not on the weekend, so we kind of have to fend for ourselves. So I had to put in a little bit of an order on Uber Eats. I ordered like a nice blooming onions and some rib steak. Don't judge me, okay? I'm a little fatty. But anyway, we're gonna jump into this. Today's topic is about the coronavirus and everything that's going on there. If you guys have not checked out my community page, check out my community page. Please vote. I want to know whether or not you guys want to be notified via email, because it had nothing to do with me in terms of the views or the subscriber count. What concerns me is that you're not being able to be given the free choice of will to be able to decide if you want to watch that video. I want to be able to give you guys the best and most optimum chance of being able to be notified, know when other events are happening, along with when I'm going live. So yeah, I do hope you're okay with that. Just definitely go check out if you are interested. Give me a yay, nay, whatever. I want as a big sample of my subscribers, so I can kind of get like a little bird eye view of what I need to do. Also, expect within the next couple of days, I'll be putting out another poll, and it will be whether or not I should continue as a political channel. And so stay for that as well. Hi everyone. I know a lot of you guys are from Italy, Australia, and Netherlands. So thank you all. Thank you everyone. I appreciate you all. I love you. And so we have a lot to get through today. But today we do have a little crystal. I saw someone's comments, so I saw your comments. So to take the time to kind of get the crystal that's in my hand. This is an intuition test. Feel the energy in my hand right now. What are you feeling? What do you feel is really in my hand right now? I'll give you a moment. Pause the video if needed. All right, I'm about to reveal it. This is what the crystal looks like, and it's called howlite. If you got that right, congratulations. If you have not, do not worry. It just means that you need to hone in on a little bit of your intuition. That's all. Okay, so we have some question. I tried to piece it together while I was doing a whole bunch of things. I was multitasking today. And so I have some questions. Check out in the description below if you're coming to view this at a later time or a later date, whether or not you're watching this from Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, any of those. Check the description below. You'll find all the questions you want to be covered in this video, along with any question that you guys have. All right, so we're going to start with the very first question. Thank you, everyone. I love you guys. Just know that I have a deaf accent and I may have a hard time pronouncing certain words throughout the video. If you have a hard time fully understanding me, please consider using closed captions as your guide. Disclaimer: all information I give during this recording is simply my intuition, my understanding, and downloaded information from the higher power. Please also note that this is just for entertainment purposes only and for education purposes only as well. Please know that when I read tarot, my intuition is what gives the cards mean and not Google. Before I do any readings that I have an opinion about, I will always let you guys know in advance. All right, and then also don't forget to stay to the end of the video. We will have an angelic reading for you. All right, so let's start some tarot, okay? So as you can see here, we have 4 potential outcomes of COVID. What is the most likely one? So I'm going to go through the 4 most likely outcomes of COVID. Now, we're kind of talking about more post-COVID-19 and everything, but we'll also be talking about COVID itself. It's 444. I just saw that as well. All right, so the first potential COVID. Outcome 1, COVID-19 pandemic rages on as more mutations happen at a faster pace than people getting vaccinated. So they're talking about the longevity of the pandemic. The outcome number 2, COVID-19 becomes a seasonal epidemic and people need to get vaccinated every year just like the flu. Excuse me. Outcome number 3, COVID-19 virus weakens and becomes the modern version of a common cold. And outcome number 4, it disappears just like 2003 SARS mini pandemic, quote, sister of COVID. So they're hoping that this is the most likely outcome, but I'm going to take the outcome to kind of see what's the most likely outcome of them, okay? Heaven. Hi, Chris. Do you do personal reading? If so, can you let me know where I can find it? Yes, I put it in the description of every video. You can also check out my website, where you guys can now find. I just uploaded it. At the bottom of it is just scroll down. Let me actually show you. I'm going to go to my YouTube channel, and I'll just show you, and then we'll actually do the reading, okay, guys? Because you guys may actually like the new website. Let me show your screen. Share screen application, YouTube. Okay, let's just hope I'm sharing the right screen. All right. So we're going to go here. Give me a minute. And then you're going to go here to the top. You're going to see my video, right? You're going to hit my website. And we have here, this is my website, Celestial and Beyond, Tarot reader, psychic, content creator, email. And then you can email me here. You guys will now have access to check out my most recent video via here as well. So you'll be able to watch that live. You can have access to generate donations. You have access to everything. Also, if you want to email me, you can also find it at this icon. So let me know if you guys like my website. I'll be adding in a little thing for you so you guys can jump in and put a subscription for a mailing so you can be notified. So what we're going to do here is that for the question is, what is the most likely outcome? We're going to get a number. So if you get 1, 2, or 3, that's the most likely outcome. Remember, we do have numbers in here that is more than 4. So just ignore those numbers. We'll keep going until we either get 1, 2, or 3, okay? Or 4. So spirits and angels tell me. Okay. Can you tell me what's the most likely outcome for COVID? The one I just said. The 4 potential outcome. 3. 3 is the potential outcome. What potential outcome is that? So number 3 is the COVID-19 virus weakens and becomes the modern version of a common cold. So that is what my Uno cards are saying is the most likely outcome for COVID-19. So that's a pretty interesting thing. It's actually shocking that it actually flew out. So cool, right? All right. So our very next question. All right. So, sorry. All right. So since the 2003 sister SARS of sister of COVID disappeared, or will it make it come back? So the question is that will we have another COVID-like pandemic? So we're going to ask that question. Brenda, if you have no sound, remove yourself from the live and then come back in, okay? It's just because there might be a malfunction or a glitch via YouTube. All right, so spirits and angels tell me, since the 2003 SARS, sister of COVID, disappeared, will it make a comeback? Will we have SARS 2003 make a comeback? Okay. We're going to use these 3 cards. All right, so we have here, it happened in the past and it happened under Bush, right? SARS 2003 was under George W. Bush, so it's not a Democrat in power, right? What we have here is that they weren't able to gather enough significant information to determine whether or not this is going to make a comeback, right? And we have here in the future, it is most likely will come back. Right now, it's hitting, it's in hermit mode, right? However, it really depends on the government and what the government does. So if the government doesn't improve itself, you can damn bet something like this is going to come back, right? And we do have here as well as we have temperance, right? So it really all depends on whether or not there'll be changes to the healthcare system. If you don't get healthcare, free healthcare, it does look like this is the most likely opportunity for it to come back. And then we do have here the Tower card. So like I said, it really depends on the institutions and what have caused and expedited this on whether or not they change. If they don't change, you can pretty much best to hold on to your mask, okay? Patty, hello, I am concerned that I might forced to take the vaccine. I have many drug allergies that the EpiPen can kill me. I'm also allergic to Benadryl. I have SVT fast hard. Okay. So you guys want to know if you'll be mandated to take the vaccine. All right. Give me a second. I don't know exactly what my other previous readings have said, particularly with the vaccine. So you guys may have to check that out on your own. But let's just get a little overview. Now, I don't know what country you're from, Patty, but I'm assuming the United States. So I'm going to go with that. Spirits and angels tell me were people in the United States, Americans, be forced to take the vaccine. Okay. Okay. Now, please keep in mind that I am not endorsing the vaccine. So please know that, right? Please know I'm not endorsing the vaccine, not telling you, trying to scaremonger you or anything like that. I'm just telling you what I'm seeing from the cards. We have here justice. So this is the Republicans, right? The challenge is not being able to get enough vaccine to help people. What we have here is yes, there is going to be some sort of victory with the vaccine, right? Yeah, so we have some sort of victory, right? If you see me looking at my order, it's just that I just need to make sure that it's not sitting outside. So I can tell my sister to go take it inside so my food doesn't get cold. But we do have here, again, we do have the page of cups here, and we have the Democrats. It's an opportunity. It doesn't feel like it's mandated, but it does feel like it may end up going through the House. And this really depends on the hospital. The hospital system and where you are located. If you live in like a very rich area, more likely to get the vaccine than you are if you were in a poor rural area. The reason why I mention this, it feels like it's not really mandated. It just feels like it feels more like it's not mandated. So, for example, like if you live in like a rural area, you're not going to more likely not to be able to get the vaccine. Whereas if you live in an urban area, you're more likely to get the vaccine. But it does not feel like as if you're being pressured in any particular way. It just feels like it's mandated for places to give out the vaccine, but it's not mandated to force people to take the vaccine. And we do have here, if it does happen, it's the intention of trying to help humanity as a whole on the earth. But there will be like something coming. There will be an agreement. And it might either be with Biden or the new incumbent, the new president. What I'm talking about could be Kamala Harris. So again, that things do change. People do have different things. People do have different agendas. I'm not speaking on their behalf. I'm not telling you my opinion. I'm just telling you what the cards are telling me. So please take this with a grain of salt. And if you don't like the outcome, pray for a better one. All right. Let's go back to where we were before. All right, so will masks become the new normal? Will it be used for fashion purposes? You know, I like the mask because it hides my face and no one can see me, and also I can dress ugly and, you know, no one ever notice me. You know what I mean? Will masks become the new normal in our society? Will it become a fashion thing? Will masks become fashion? Okay. Interesting. Okay. So we have here, as well as we have the king of stores. You know, we had Trump. Trump was the challenge. Where everything that Trump did to the country was a challenge to the current incumbent, was Biden, right? So that's the challenge to all of this and everything that's happening. It does feel like as if in the future, potentially, that we will end up having many scenarios where we may have to keep this. And I'm feeling like Phoenician type energy was talking about Venice and, you know, Florence. You know, that's where I was actually when the pandemic hit. And, you know, funny enough, I made a joke to my teacher. So everywhere I go and ask what happens. And I said there would be a pandemic if I was to go, and there was a pandemic. But anyway, we do have here, this is the Phoenician, so you might want to hold on to your mask. You may not need it as of right, like in the future. And I was talking about in the future, but you may not need it at the time when you're holding on to it. But there will come a time where you will need it again. You will need it again. We do have here the new Hanged Man. It's the new awakening. It's the new change in consciousness, right? We're all starting to wake up. People are starting to become woke. They don't have a choice anymore to stay asleep or to stay woke. It's starting to come. a lot of people are right now undergoing either the beginning stages of the spiritual awakening, or they're currently undergoing it feels like as if they're not quite there, like they're in a dark night of the soul. Again, we do have here the Queen of Swords. They're going to come out more righteous and more conscious, right? They're going to be more woke. And we do have here again, we do have, there may be some scary incidents where it may be like media says something like, oh, we might have a new virus, and everyone gets scared and they put on a mask. Same thing. But it doesn't feel like the virus is going to come to fruition, but there will be cases where you may need it. Potentially, you might be in a subway where someone's sneezing and coughing. You want to spray some bleach or something. I'm kidding. Don't use bleach, but, if you got to do what you got to do, right? You can go in without makeup, right, princess, right? Oh, thank you, everyone who have donated to me, especially a Gabe, Princess, and I haven't checked out lately, but thank you all of you guys who have donated. Do not feel obligated to donate. I really appreciate those who did, and I really greatly appreciate it. Another way you can donate is just by watching the ads, and they do give me a little bit of income. So thank you all. All right, so how would COVID-19 and the stimulus bill affect the outcome of the 2022 midterms? This is very important because, quite frequently, like the GOP have basically outwardly voted against the stimulus bill, even though it had 70% support. And I apologize for any noise that you hear in the background. Again, they did it again. So let's just kind of get a little bit more of an in-depth look and see what's going to happen. So Spirit and Angels tell me, how did COVID and the stimulus bill affect the 2022 midterms results? How does it affect the 2022 midterms? Okay. What party is that? Is that the Republicans or the Democrats? Guys, do not feel obligated to send me any money via stimulus check, but that's really nice of you. Okay. That's weird. Okay, I'm gonna need to use my Uno card. This is the most accurate. I'm telling you guys, this is the most accurate thing ever. Like, I did this reading like a long time ago, asking whether or not we're gonna hold the House and win the Senate. And it said that we're gonna win the Senate, and it said here that we're gonna lose seats in the House, and that's what ended up happening. And I doubted these cards because I didn't know if I was reading these right. But I'm gonna trust these and see what these cards have to say. All right, so Spirits and Angels tell me about this. What's the most likely outcome of the 2022 midterms as it currently stands today? With the COVID-19 and the stimulus bill have some sort of outcome on the results? What do we need to know? Who is most likely to win the House of Representatives? Okay, so we had the Republicans down 2. All right, so the Republicans are down 2, right? They lost. All right, so let me just kind of read this so you guys can get a little bit broad overview. So we all know that both the House and the Senate went to the Democrats, right? A lot of you guys have been with me, and you all know that this is Biden and Harris, right? This is my card for them. And they lost the 2 Republican senators in Georgia in the January election, right? And because of that, put the Senate at 50-50, giving the Democrats just barely enough for VP Harris to kind of be the say vote. The vote. We do have here right now, currently, though, is too tight, and that the Democrats are very limited to senators like Joe Manchin, Kyrsten Sinema, and people like that. However, we do have here in the right, we do have the Three of Swords, which is all about betrayal here. Right? And what this is really telling me that there's going to be a betrayal, either against the current administration or against the betrayal of the previous administration. Really depends on how they go about this in terms of our campaign. We do have here as well as we do have the Democrats making a deal with the voters here. We do have the Democrats here. However, we have the Page of Swords, right? So, a lot of you guys may have not know, or maybe you do know, is that my generation, the generation that's coming out to vote, we have the biggest voting bloc in the nation now, right? and this is my generation. So what this really speaks on is that I know, and this is just from based on personal experience, that I follow a lot of people who are my age and stuff like that, and they have been putting out there that they voted for Biden, but they voted for Biden because they didn't like Trump. However, there's been a lot of report lately from them who are very angry at Biden for his handling of Syria, sending bombs over there and stuff like that. And I'm just telling you what my generation is thinking right now, because that might be an indicator. They said even in that they are willing to challenge Biden in the primary process with another candidate. My generation is, as a whole, is literally agreeing on that. So this is very important for us to kind of get a more in-depth view. And rather right now, the Democrats they're not doing well with the young people, my generation, because my generation is the one that actually brought, including black women specifically, brought the election to Biden. Right, more people registered, young people registered, and came out to vote. That's what swung the states of Georgia, Michigan, Wisconsin, Pennsylvania, and Arizona to the left. However, it can all go back to the right. And so also note that my generation is the type of generation where we have savage, right? Where we like revenge. And what that means is that if the government does not do what we ask them and what we voted for them to do, we will vote them out, even if it's against our own interest, because that's punishment. And so just also note that's how my generation is. So we'll get a little bit more of an in-depth view of this. So Spirits and Angels tell me the person who loses is just the Republican Party or the Democrats. So if the card is reversed and the number is reversed, it's telling me that's the party that loses. If it's upright, the party gains. Okay. All right, so it's the wild card. I think the Democrats gained 4 seats, right? They gained Mark Kelly. They gained another, Hickenlooper, and then they did the 2 Georgia senators. Why you keep telling me 2 Georgia? They keep pointing me back to 2020. Can you tell me what the future in 2022 midterms going to look like? Who's most likely to win the Senate in the 2022 midterms? What does that mean? Who's going to most likely win the 2022 midterms? It's 2-2-2, just so you guys know. Who's most likely to win the 22 midterms in the Senate? Show me the Senate. What party, the Democrats or the Republicans? Who takes the Senate? Okay, can I take the top? Take the bottom? All right, so the Republicans gain those seats. Yep, and here is the Libertarians, so the Green Party, they gain those seats, so there's going to be no independents. The Republicans lose 2 seats. The Republicans lose 2 Senate seats. And the high potential is that the Democrats will have a chance at winning back at least 9 Senate seats, making it into the 60s, either 59 Democrats, 41 Republicans, and that could be an outcome. Or it could mean that the Democrats end up going into the election night with 9 million more votes than the GOP, which is basically the same turnout as in the 2018 midterm. So let's kind of get a little bit more overview on now the House election. So what party is going to win the House in the 2022 midterm as it currently stands today? What party is most likely to win the House? Okay. Okay, so again, I've seen all Democrats. The Democrats are more likely to gain seats in the House of Representatives, because we have here, they're going to gain 2 more. Then they're going to gain 2 more on top of that, and then here we have 1. So they're going to gain 5 seats. So right now that's 22. If you do the math, which I don't know how to do math, so let me just add that up quickly. So 22 plus 5 is about 227. Around there, that's how much they will hold the Senate. The House of Representatives. So it's a lot better than where they really are right now. So let me know if you guys like these Uno cards. We're going to move on to the next question. I hope I am not too fast for you guys. All right. I want to move on to the next question. Hello, everyone who just hopped in. How will history look upon us years from now? How will we have finally learned, or will we be doomed to repeat it? Basically saying that how we are and everything that happened with the Trump presidency, with the pandemic and stuff like that as well. It's no brainer that, the things that happened under the Trump presidency was something that was normal. It was supposed to happen. It happened in 1918, and it happened again. Radical ideas come about when people are locked up in their own home. All right, so how will history look upon us years from now with the COVID-19 pandemic, Donald Trump, and everything else? Will we have finally learned our lesson, or will we be doomed to repeat it? Can you give me an outcome? I heard doomed to repeat it. All right, so we have here, we struggled as a country, we struggled as a community to understand the underlying effect of everything that's going on, and then it's challenged by the new generation, right? And what we do have here is we will have a very first woman who was not elected to the office of the presidency, which is probably most likely Kamala, right? Kamala Harris, right? So that's what it's telling me, is that we're most likely going to have a woman who's never been elected to office, at least not in her first term. We do have here is a good time for women, right? Women are going to be very happy. However, the presidency is upside down. I don't know what this particularly means, but it does look like this is the overall view of everything that's going on, that it took this long for a woman to get into power, but although we're going to never know what really happened in 2016, because this is my Hillary Clinton's reverse. So it does feel like it is going to be like almost like a movie. It feels like a movie is going to come out about this. That was the finger cross for luck, not middle finger. Okay, that's okay. I didn't really look too deep into it. Don't worry. I love my personal cards. I completely agree. Okay, what's the big thing that come in March, early April? I said it was something big being stopped with the bills. I'm so happy it didn't manifest, but what is it? So basically, I'm talking about, if you guys have watched my video with it's about like, the economic downfall and the economic collapse, but thank God, when I put things out, it's less likely to happen. Well, since actually I'm gonna do a video on this, I asked Marie and hoping that she does get her phone and then we're able to do this video. I'm doing what is it called? Yeah, the 2020, the Roaring 20s, and the economic success of the United States and the world as a global. Because I do feel like it's gonna crash, but then it's gonna go back up, right? All right, so spirits and angels, tell me what's gonna happen at the end of March. What's gonna happen at the end of March? What are we gonna need to know at the end of March? What's happening early March? I mean, late March, early April. Okay. All right, that's a little weird, but okay. Oh, guys, I know what this is. I know exactly what this is. Okay. So this is talking about Trump here. All right, so the news is about Trump. He won't concede and acknowledge that he lost the election, right? He won't surrender. This is the white flag. But he won't surrender. He won't acknowledge that he lost. We have here, it's the Arizona case, which is funny because Arizona came in, Arizona, right? Was telling me this is about Arizona. We have here as well, we have mankind is the challenge. The man doing the right thing, right? I'm glad you guys like my Uno cards. Thank you. They're so sweet. And we do have here at the bottom is on the global stage, on a worldwide stage, people are going to start being locked up for their crime. They're going to start being held accountable for their actions, right? And it does feel like, in some degree that, like, Trump could even be convicted towards the end of March, early April. Like, he might be convicted, like I said, he'll get acquitted in the Senate, but then he ends up getting convicted by whatever means necessary. We do have here, again, this is spirit coming in, they're trying to communicate this to us, and that they're letting us know that this is about to happen, right? This is about Japan, and that look to Japan to see how things are going to happen to the United States, right? It's all about the power of the soul, right? The soul power. It's going to happen fast, right? We have reality, mind, time, space, leader, and fast. It's going to happen fast, right? And we end up, the American people and the world as a global is going to be very happy for us. Now, please keep in mind that this is just for entertainment purposes only, and things can change. But that's where it's heading right now. So this is really good news, right, guys? So that's really interesting. I didn't expect this. But guys, definitely like this video if you do like the content, so I know whether or not to make more. Okay, so will we be lifting lockdown nationwide and worldwide? So let's kind of get a little bit more of a broad overview and look. I did read in on the pandemic and the coronavirus, and everything seems to be following exactly what I've been saying. Like I said in my last COVID-19 video, that we're gonna have new variants being found. There's gonna be things coming out with vaccines and stuff like that. Particularly, I feel like there will be one more vaccine though that's gonna come out in April, late March. Just like I said, I still hold truth to that and still hold my ground to that particular what my tarot cards have been saying. But I do truly see in my own heart, based on what I've read on many of my other COVID-19 videos, that I said that COVID-19 will start to lift up and start to kind of go back to normal around late summer, early fall. So let's kind of get an idea of that. Hello, Georgie. Hello, everyone. Italy just went into lockdown. I know, I miss Italy. I love it. So sad. Okay, when will we be lifting lockdown nationwide and worldwide? Can you give me a little idea? Okay. When will we be lifting lockdown nationwide and worldwide? Can you give me a little bit of an idea, Spirits and Angel? Japan has excellent universal health care program. We could do worse than establishing one for the United States based on Japan's model. Japan has a pretty good model. I'm not gonna lie. Okay. All right, so we got some promising things. We got a yes here. So yes, it does feel like we will be lifting up, but that's not really helping me. Right now we have a man, right? We have Joe Biden, right? We have Joe Biden coming in and he's trying to stop the spread of COVID. It's gonna continue for a while though. It's a matter of time though. The truth's going to be revealed about the virus and where it maybe originated, maybe test studies found out where it is originally. We do have here a door. There's a closed opportunity right now. So the door is closed on the economy, right? The economy, if you see the economy going up, that means that the country is about to get lucky. We're about to get lucky, okay? So if you see the economy go up, the Democrats here, right? The Democrats are going to start to see a rise in their popularity, the decrease in radicalism across the country. We're going to have here, although it's going to take the old way of thinking, the way that we used to do things in the past is no longer the thing that we do. We do have here 45 here at the clown, right? That the justice system is going to expose, Trump is going to expose that the justice system is corrupt and that it cannot be dependent upon to hold people accountable. Again, it's all about, we're going to have riots or protests, and it's about having women's rights, equal pay, the wealth tax, and all those type of things as well. It will be a new generation, a new mindset. Don't be surprised if new leaders, new generation, new people, my generation or younger, stepped into the limelight, because there's going to be a lot more of those type of people. But it does feel like nationwide lifting. It does feel like it's going to end up happening. Let me see if I get like a month. The first month, again, we do have to hear, right? I'm going to see if I have my first month. Hold on, let me see where the month is. Whatever month they're saying. Your New Year's Eve reverse. Okay, no. Valentine's reverse, no. Birthday, that's October. Let's see. Happy Fun. Black, green, landslide. Okay, so Easter, we're gonna start to see Easter here. It's gonna start to be where we start to see a little bit of a relaxation of it. It's gonna be before November. Definitely gonna be before November. Yep, definitely before November. Definitely before Thanksgiving. Sometime I'm seeing early September, early August is the most likely outcome when we lift up lockdown and nationwide and worldwide. So that's what I'm seeing for those cards. I know a lot of you guys have questions, so I'll be doing your questions in a second. Okay, guys, you only have a few more, then I'll do yours. All right, so will things? Oh, okay. Am I doing this right? Okay. Yeah. Will things ever go back to being normal again, or has our way of life changed? Yes. So our way of life has indeed changed. The cards have just already said that. On April 4th for Easter, will we be able to celebrate? Will lockdown be lifted? What's surrounding us? So kind of let's get a little bit more broad overview. You guys know I did not even know Easter was April. I was like, oh, okay. I just looked it up before I wrote this down. Like, oh, interesting. It depends on the state. It depends on the state where you are. Because we have here, the fear of the COVID, right? We're supposed to be in this at a divine time and we're supposed to be experiencing this. We have here restrictions, right? We also have like the stories, and what this tells me here is that everything that we experience is still not it's not done. We still have to do a lot to experience here. We do have here a lot of people are not going to be able to leave their homes because other people are out there being stuck, and it's because of the government. So this is the CDC. And we do have here some states are going to try to resist that. Some people are going to try to hang out, stuff like that. However, other states who've been doing a good job, they will be rewarded to be able to go out and hang out with their family for Easter. So yes. I forgot this was on COVID. You don't have to activate anything. Yeah, it's all about COVID. Don't worry. I'll be looking at states again like New York on red and stuff like that. Don't worry about that. Okay, love. I got you. Okay, so this is the question I really wanted. I've been wanting to do this for the longest time possible. Will we see an economic boom and a speedy recovery in the 20s? Remember, this happened with the 1918. Now, the reason why me and Marie did that because we ended up seeing an economic crash, but we don't know when it's going to happen, right? But if you see an economic success, right, and it does not crash, that doesn't mean that you cannot be ready, because what happened in 1918. I'm taking history perspective here. So history is that we had a pandemic, right? We had a little bit of a decrease. Herbert Hoover ended up losing the election to FDR. Right? No, I mean, Sumi was Howard Taft, I think, or something like that. End up like that anyway. He lost. He was a one-term president. We have a Democrat in office. Woodrow Wilson left, and it switched over to Calvin Coolidge. I could be wrong. Just don't hold me to that. But what ended up happening was that the economy skyrocketed in the 20s. The Republicans did phenomenally well. But then what followed right after the 20s is the Great Depression, right? The stock market collapsed. Same thing. So just because you have an economic success for the next 10 years doesn't mean it's gonna fall. Remember, when things are longevity and the long duration of it, the more likely the effects are going to be. The same thing with the Great Depression. Like during that time period, the longest time since the Great Depression had occurred, or a depression of any sort, or a downturn in the economy for about 20 years. Normally it happens every 10 years that the economy hasn't soured on the people or the country. Same thing. So if the economy goes up, it's going to end up crashing. It's going to crash big. So let's kind of get a little idea. So this is the best time to save your money. For the next 10 years, save your money. Okay, well, we'll see an economic boom and a speedy recovery in the 20s. This is the question I've been waiting for, guys. Yeah, it collapsed around October 29th, 1929. We have here, I'm a history buff, so I know a lot about history. We have here the government, right? The governments in the past, we have the American people are going to be very happy. They're going to be better off than ever before. Like, the country's going to do very well, right? We do have here, again, the American people are going to succeed. American people, even this is on a global scale, so this is not just America. So wherever you live, this is also for you. Everyone's going to experience. A part of why the roaring 20s happened when people were stuck in home, so they went out, they spent money, and because of it, it rose the profit of every country and everyone benefited. However, look what's looming. The Great Depression, like another type depression. So I'm not trying to scare the crap out of you guys. This is really awesome. So if you want to know what the best time to travel, do things, do it in this decade. This is the best decade for you. You want to exchange. You're going to see people lean luxurious. People are going to start dressing up nicer, the same way they did in the 1920s. We have here the fool, right? Just don't be a little too foolish with your money, right? Because the economy is going to go from here and it's going to skyrocket to the top, right? But then it's going to, everything that goes up is going to crash. Everything that crashes to the bottom is going to go back up, right? Same thing. Don't put your eggs in all one basket. So that is what you guys need to know about with the economic success, the economic boom, the roaring 20s. But I'll be doing a little bit more of this in depth with hopefully Marie's table whenever she's ready. I emailed her so she is aware of this. The Earth. We will have to move to a green economy. So I know you said you're worried about Earth more so than the economy. Yes, I completely agree, but do not be fooled. Do not buy from people or companies who say they support, like these type of like global chains, and they're not actually doing it. Like just for example, Coca-Cola just putting a slap in the color green and say that they're economic friendly. That's not really doing anything. It's just manipulation. What were we supposed to learn from the pandemic? So let's kind of get a little bit of more broad overview, and then I'll be doing some of your questions, then we'll end the reading. Spirits and Angels, tell me, what were we supposed to be as a collective? What were we supposed to learn from the pandemic? What were we supposed to learn from the pandemic? Can I have 2 cards? Thank you. Okay, so we have here the renewal, right? A lot of us are undergoing the change of the spiritual change. It's starting to spark. A lot of you guys may have never noticed, like, because of the pandemic, it has forced you guys to look at what's your passion, right? Because of the pandemic, I now have a YouTube channel. It's something I wanted, but I was scared to do, right? We're having a renewal. We're having a respect. We're having a motivation to do new things, to take more appreciation. However, what we're currently undergoing right now as a collective is we're starting to understand that, it's okay to be rejection. It's okay to have loss. It's okay to be fragmented. The things that are fragmented, when they're built back beautiful, right? And I feel like it goes back with Biden's message here is build back better. Same thing here. Even though we as the country has been fragmented and that we as a society have lost a lot from this, there's so much for us to gain. Because when you lose things, it makes place for a better thing to come in. And they're telling you in the future, just warning of the storm, the unexpected. It's telling you that, it's also telling us that we also need to be prepared. We need to be more prepared. Because we need to know what things may be happening in the future. What are some things we need to be prepared? We need that food and stuff like that. And so if you really are concerned about whatever the future may hold, definitely check out the video with me and Marie's table, and we talked about how to prepare for natural disaster or any sort of disaster. It's a great way to kind of get a little bit more information on that. So a lot of you guys have asked, what is this? This is I think this is premium. Believe me or not, I think, because this is very limited only. It's Yin and Yang Oracle by Seller. I love her. I'm going to order probably some of her other ones, because this is probably one of the best decks that I have ever used that actually work really well besides the Uno and my custom decks. But yeah, that's what it is. So I know you asked, Georgie. What else? Guys, definitely hit the like button if you like this. All right, so let's ask, what do your angels want you to learn specifically about the pandemic? So let's get a little bit of a more in-depth idea. Spirits and angels, tell me, what do you want my viewers to know or understand, what they need to learn or to take away from this pandemic? All right, so they told me to use only these 2 cards, and that's it. Okay. So again, this makes a lot of sense. This is you. Spring, when we're about to enter springtime, they want you to start planting the seeds now. Start doing what you need to do. Start planting the seeds. Look. We have the peonies upright, but then it's reversed in the ball. It's okay to feel upright. It's okay to have your stomach turn. Trust your intuition. But start planting the seeds now, what you need to do in the future. Start planning ahead. And we have here the challenge is that you need to start having an epiphany. Start doing astral projection. Start doing meditation. Start doing this type of thing. And you will end up seeing a breakthrough. You will end up thriving better than you are. You will look back upon this very moment and say that I did it. I succeeded. I did a lot better than I thought I could, and you have to give yourself a lot of credit for that. You succeeded, and you need to pat yourself on the back. So pat yourself. You did a phenomenal job. For any of you guys who needed to hear that. Now, keep in mind, if it does not resonate with you, to keep in mind that it may not be a message particularly for you, but that doesn't mean you shouldn't have anything to take away from it, or it just means that you may not be ready to hear the information that is just presented. Let's see what other question that you guys have. Let's see. Okay, so is anyone's vaccine safer, less side effects than others? Okay, so if you really want to know my answer to the question, Shirley, go check out my other previous videos, but I could probably pull up on my screen now to show you can see this. Hold on. And I'll show you what video to go. go to, so you guys can check out this video. It's very bland because I have to keep it in a very particular way or fashion. I know people got mad at me for that, but again, I cannot tell you what vaccine they take or anything like that. Definitely scroll down, right? And where is that vaccine video? Hold on. Where is that? Got the stimulus check. All right, so we had the vaccine is blue here, right? Right next to martial law, the vaccine, the vax part 222. And then we also have the Trump vibe, which you guys can both watch if you are, of course, interested. That is the answer to your question. It's a little bit talks about more of that particular side effect and thing that may potentially happen. But then again, like I said, I cannot tell you what vaccine to take. That is up for your intuition and for you to kind of figure out on your own self. All right, so let's see. I think. All right, so can you ask why it happened? Like people aren't vaccinated. So what most likely would happen to people who aren't vaccinated? So for example, like me. I love the Uno cards. I actually saved my deck after I saw you use them. Yes, saved them, and they're very nice. I love my Uno deck. I love a lot of decks. I use like Cards Against Humanity. I use any game because it's really intuition. It's your intuition that matters, not the cards. Spirits and Angels tell me what happens to people who aren't vaccinated. What happened to people who aren't vaccinated? I hope this is a good outcome, at least for me. Oh, okay, it's not too bad. Okay, we have here judgment. Right, we have judgments in the past, right? The way to handle the healthcare system and stuff like that as well. We have the Page of Cups, and it's kind of like you know, you have to make a decision. Do I want this vaccine? Do I not? The only thing I will say though, it doesn't really. I mean, it doesn't feel like there's two different outcomes. What I've seen here is that either it takes away 1 year off your life, and that's it, if you don't get the vaccine, or it just means that there's nothing really is taken away from, right? There's nothing really for it to take away from you. So I really wouldn't. It doesn't really feel like anything. Like there's like no substance. So there's that. A lot of you guys have asked me what's on my necklace. So I'm just gonna tell you. This is a Superman necklace, right? It's supposed to remind you guys to be your own hero, to kind of trust and, you know, have confidence in yourself and have confidence in you, because you need to be your own hero and you cannot depend on other people. So again, this is why I wear it, to not only remind myself when I'm watching myself via screen so I can talk to you guys, but also to let you guys know that you need to be your own hero as well. It's a little hidden message and little gem for you guys, like a little Easter egg. But again, I love you guys, and I hope you have a very beautiful night. Thank you all so much for coming with me. Let me know if you guys like this video. Comment in the description below. I love you guys, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. I'll be live. I'll be talking about Biden's health. But without further ado, I love you, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.